What is going on, family? Welcome back to another video on this channel. My name is Dr. Brian McElderry, former pharmacist turned holistic life and business coach, speaker, and author. I'm so excited that you are here today. So if you are here, you're here for a reason. However you clicked on this video, on this channel, we talk about all things life mastery, minimalism, and entrepreneurship, ultimately to create the abundance in love, money, and impact. So if that's you, if you're trying to get certain areas of your life in order, from your relationships, your personal finance, your productivity, your purpose, your passion, whatever that might be for you, you are in the right place. So before we get into today's value, what I want you to do is go ahead and hit that like button for me, hit a subscribe, and go ahead and hit that notification bell so you know when there's a new video coming for you, okay? Now that we've gotten that out of the way, I'm so excited to bring you the value today, which is going to be going over, should you start a coaching business in 2021? Should you start a coaching business now if you're watching this video in the future? Yes, 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 yes. And I'm gonna go over three distinct reasons with some backup and statistics of why I believe you, if you're watching this video, you have value to give. You have a voice. You have been through something that someone else is looking to get through. Right? So what I want to do is empower you here on this video, but also give you some maybe hope, right? That someone has been through it, and what maybe strategic steps you should be looking at right now, whether you have a coaching business, whether you should continue your coaching business, or you're like, is it too late to get in the game? Like, what do I actually need? So I'm gonna go over three succinct steps that I believe simplistically people need to focus on to get their coaching business off the ground right now. So if that sounds good to you, let's go ahead and jump into today's value. So in the 1980s, a gentleman by the name of Thomas Leonard really jump-started the coaching industry. He was a financial planner that began bringing private clients along his journey of getting their finances in order. And that was really the jumpstart towards life coaching. Now there's so many subsets of life coaching to this day, but that jump-started it back then, so that gave route to Tony Robbins and other high-level coaches that you see today, right? But what do we believe about coaching now? Is it still valuable? Is it still on the uptrend? Is it still, something that people are willing to invest in? And I will say 100% yes. In 2019, it was evaluated that the coaching industry was around $15 billion. In 2022, it is estimated that this is going to grow exponentially up to 20 billion plus. Now, for many of you, you might be thinking, well, that means it's saturated, Brian, right? That doesn't mean that people are still looking for coaches. I beg to differ, okay? People are now looking for ways that they can improve their lives more so now than ever. As traditional jobs and traditional ways of living are fading out, people are looking for ways that they can run their own lives, how they can improve their health on their own, how they can be empowered to be the master of their lives in all areas. So they're looking for people that have done it before to say, hey, I don't want to fumble the ball. I don't want to, take another, 2, 3, 4, 5 years to figure this out. I want it now, right? It's like the buy now button on Amazon. People want expedited results. Now, that does not mean that work doesn't need to be put in, but it means that, hey, people are looking for individuals maybe like yourself, or maybe if you are an entrepreneur or a coach right now and you do have current clients, there are more people that are looking for you. We've just got to put things into practice to where we can become that thought leader in front of their faces. So let's jump into 3 different processes that I believe you need to have down pat to be an excellent coach, to really have a simplistic way of serving your clients or your potential clients that are to come. Now that we've got the statistics down pat that yes, you can be a coach, what 3 steps that you need to start focusing in on to have in order to be ready to serve and to deliver the value that I know you have, right? So if you have an area of expertise that you feel like, wow, I had a pain before, but now I've prospered into a new area of abundance in my life, right? So whether you have had financial issues and then you've come out and said, wow, I have a process of how I've, overcome my debt or managed my finances a little bit better. If you have lost a certain amount of weight or gotten your body in order and you are to a certain point and you feel like you know the journey and you know the process that you went along, then again, you can coach on that. If you are a business owner and you have been in business for a certain amount of years and you've gotten to a certain level and now you're saying, well, I'm going to bring somebody up to where I am. Again, you have an area of expertise to where you have been, right? A previous pain, and you want to bring somebody along that journey. You want to expedite their results because you remember the time where you were in that pain and maybe you didn't have the guidance that you needed, right? So now it is on you to be that servant leader to give back. So the first step, now that I've gotten that out of the way, the first step that I believe every business owner should have, and specifically a coach, is what is your value offer? What is your value proposition? Every business has one, right? What is the value that people see in you for them to invest into? I just talked about it. What is the pain point that you used to be in that probably other people are in? Right? If you can discover that, then you can uncover exactly what it is you want to coach on. What interests you? What fuels you every single day? What upsets you to the point where you're like, man, like I'm tired of hearing these things. I'm tired of people being where I've been, in the pitfalls, in the valley. I want to bring them out to the mountaintop, right? What is that? Your value proposition. So I want you to jot those things down. What were the pains and maybe where you have been before, and where do you want people to get to? Where is the vision? Where do you feel like people need to get to feel the happiness and joy and fulfillment that maybe you do right now? Number one, your value proposition. That is a bonus for you. The first one that I want to start off with is the attraction mechanism. Okay, how are you going to attract people to you? A lot of individuals go out looking and looking and looking for all these clients or potential clients, and they're like, Brian, I don't know where these people are. First, we've got to take a step back, and I want you to analyze, where is this person in their life right now? I've got to bring myself down just a little bit back to where I've been, which is hard for a lot of coaches because that involves a lot of emotion. You've got to bring yourself back down to where you have been before and say, hey, I'm trying to meet you where you are. That is the attraction mechanism, and there are many ways to do this, and I can talk more about it in depth if you want. So go ahead and comment and say, yes, attraction, 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 Brian. How do you attract the people towards you a little bit more? Number two, you've got to convert. You've got to create conversions. You've got to create sales. If you do not do this, you do not have a business. You really have just a hobby, in my personal opinion. I see so many people that have so many ideas, and it is said by many successful entrepreneurs around the idea that, hey, everyone has had $1 million idea. Everyone has had an idea in their head to say, man, I should have started this. How are they doing this? I can do that. But really, there's no transition from the idea phase, the value proposition, the planning, to the point where you're actually converting people, right? So how do you do that? Number one, you got to set a value for your proposition. There has to be a number on it, and this comes around for a lot of people where they are scared of money. Just to be point blank honest, if you are scared of money, if you are scared around the receiving of money because you feel like you're taking, I want you to let me know down below. Say, hey, Brian, yes. I feel this hesitance around charging a certain amount because I don't feel like I am that valuable yet. We need to shift this mindset and mind frame really quickly, and I can talk about this in more videos. There's more videos to come around the mindset around money. Let me know if that interests you. Put money mindset down below, or let me know that this portion of the video resonated with you a little bit. So we've got to create the value proposition, right? Number one. Number two, we've got to attract somebody some way by getting back a little bit deeper into their pain, and that allows us to bring our emotion back down to where we have been previously to meet them where they are. Second, we've got to convert them, okay? We've got to have a conversion process, a sales process. And in that means being able to receive money to the point where you can embrace it, to know that that person has just invested not only into you, but into themselves, to say, hey, I am willing to give over a piece of what I value, my monetary gains, to entrust into you that, hey, I want to get to where you are. Help me with this. Guide me along the journey, right? So that's a conversion process. And number three, we've got to have a deliverance. There has to be a deliverable. What does your deliverable look like? Okay. And simplistically, just to give you a jump start, it can be coaching calls. I think a lot of coaches or a lot of business owners, specifically service-based business owners, believe that they need all these different forms and PDFs and, all these different checkpoints and, assignments. These people that you are going to be serving a lot of times just need accountability. You can create the process. You can create your value ladder as you go, but the best way to be a successful coach, the best way to coach is to actually coach, right? I think too many coaches try to get, of course, mind you, yes, we can go into this, that certifications are wonderful if you are actually trying to gain more knowledge base or you feel more comfortable, but that is not going to help you feel more comfortable when that client is in front of your face saying, hey, what should I do about this? If you know your value proposition very clearly and you know where their pain is, all you're doing is revisiting your past to coach them through where you've been through to get them to where they want to be. So there's a whole process that we can go through here, but yes, to answer this question on this video, you should start your coaching business right now, your service-based business, sharing your knowledge that you have gained over the past year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 20 years of experience. And you can share that with somebody that is still stuck in a hole, still stuck in a rut, have been through so many different trial and erroring processes, and you have now gotten the prize, right? And then now you just have to take off the blinders for a second, look back down and say, wow, all these people are where I used to be. That should give you fulfillment and joy if you are a true servant leader or you want to be a servant leader. And this could lead to massive success when you have love in front of it, to know that you can service people to bring them joy and happiness and fulfillment. And that's going to bring you joy, happiness, and fulfillment. So if you had any hesitance around starting a coaching business, these are just 3 simple processes, 3 simple steps around what you can do to start right now. If you need help or guidance with that, please let me know. I have some resources down below. There's a free purpose journal for you as well to get you started along your journey. There's a connect call as well if you want to jump down in there. But other than that, hopefully this helped you get along. So number 1, again, you want to have a value proposition. Number 2, you must have some type of attraction mechanism. Are you using social media? Are you using organic method, which I recommend to start off with and then go to paid traffic? Number 3, do you have some type of conversion process? How are you selling people? Are you afraid of money? Number 3, do you have a deliverable? What is your deliverance process? How many coaching calls? I recommend, typically a package deal to where you have 12 coaching calls, 6 coaching calls within that time span, and you are selling it as a package instead of one-on-one sessions, day to day, week to week. That is not sustainable. What I believe for the coaches that are starting off, if you're on here, if you're more of a seasoned coach, you can resonate with me that a lot of times less is more. So what I recommend to my clients, and I even do myself at times, is go back to the basics and simply coach. That means simply give advice, bring people along the journey and communicate, right? Listen and communicate. That will give people more value than you believe, because they're here wondering how you did it, and who can tell it better through your own voice and through your own experiences than you, besides just giving them what the industry says, right? Giving them PDFs, giving them documentation. Hey, fill this out and get this back to me, instead of communicating and saying, here, what is it that you want? Where are you now? Why are you not there? Okay, let's go through those obstacles. Let's use those obstacles as opportunities to push our lives forward, whether it be in personal finance, relationships, health, business, overall life mastery, whatever it is that you are trying to coach on. Simply communicate is an effective tool in of itself. So that is where you can start right now, is you can create a value proposition. You can get into the pain points of your ideal clients, because that's where you've been before. That means that you need to go back in your own history and your own life and realize, wow, I used to be there. I can help somebody else. Number two, you got to have an attraction mechanism. You got to get out there. You got to start telling your story. You got to start telling people where you've been and where you are now. Number three, you've got to have some type of conversion process. You've got to take people from attention and the attraction mechanism that you have in place to actually buying into you, investing over their hard-earned money over to you. And really, psychologically, they're investing into them because they're giving something of value to say, my life is worth this amount and I'm willing to give this over to somebody that I trust to say, hey, I'm willing to learn from you, right? And number three, you've got to deliver on what you have offered. Okay, and you can do that simply by telling your story, guiding them along the journey, and asking more specific questions. If this helped you in any way and gave you a little bit more hope that it's possible for you, I can go a little bit more in detail in further videos, or you can ask questions down below. What has been holding you back from starting a coaching business? If you have one right now and it's just not off the ground, it's still a side hustle and it's still a hobby instead of an actual business, what is the pain point that is in your way? I want to hear from you down below. I can go into more detail, but don't forget again to go ahead and hit that like button, hit a subscribe, as well as go ahead and turn on those notifications for me as well so you can hear more in detail around these specifics. There are resources down below for you as well, and I will see you again in the next video.